Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time I'm going to show you how to set up your Philips Hue bulbs to talk a Home Assistant. And that starts now. Well, the more I start working with Home Assistant, the more impressed I'm starting to be. It's, for it being an open source package, and I don't mean this in a negative way, it's really very stable. In fact, they just came out with a new release here in the past couple of days. So it's in a continual state of improvement, and there's more yet to come. Before we get started, now this is what we're going to be going with this time, and I tell you, this is a sweet deal because I paid a little bit more than that, and I only got 2 bulbs. And you can see this is a 4-pack bulbs. Now it's not, oh, okay, here's the difference. You've got to get the Hue. Okay, you've got to get the hub. So that's why this is a little bit, not including the cost of the hub. So the hub is, well, it's a little pricey at $56, but there is, or there have been packages out there where you can see, but it was with anything. It's, you know, if you've already got a Zigbee hub sitting out there, then it may very well work with that. But certainly, this is the nice thing is this is a universal package that we're seeing here, that it works with Alexa, Google Assistant, and Apple HomeKit. So it's just, you know, it's all how that you're wanting to do it. But I tell you what, without delaying any further, oh, and well, sorry, one minor delay. Thank you to everyone who's been subscribing to the channel. It's growing little by little, and I really appreciate that. For those that are sticking with me, there's a lot more to come on Home Assistant. I'm really seeing the potential in it, so we're going to be doing all sorts of things in that respect. We're going to get into NAS and a network attached storage, and not in the way you think. And it's actually going to be very simple. It's not going to be expensive. You can get into it and kind of get your feet wet, but more on that in an upcoming video. So let's go ahead and start getting through the process of getting your Philips Hue bulbs talking to Home Assistant. Now we are at the point of getting our Philips Hue bulb set up. Now, even though we're at the Home Assistant screen, let's shift over here for just a minute into the Philips Hue program. And we're going to toggle through the lights just to make sure that it sees them both and they're ready to go. Now, something else I would suggest doing is going into settings, going down to software update. If there is an update available, it's going to show it to you here if you haven't already gotten a message by going into the app. It is a very good step to have not only your Philips Hue hub updated, but making sure that your bulbs are updated as well. That can take as little as about 20 minutes, and I've had it take, for the 2 bulbs that I've got, it took about 45 minutes-ish to get the hub updated as well as the 2 bulbs. And it's going to have to reboot everything in the process. Now, typically, what you see is Philips Hue down here in the bottom. That's the hub. That typically will be kept updated automatically. It's the bulbs that, if they're not on for a prolonged period, may not get updated. So as you can see, we're set to go. We've checked everything. So now let's go on over to the Home Assistant screen, and we'll tap the little 3 bars in the upper left-hand corner. We'll go to Configurations, Integrations, and we'll go down here to where it says Philips Hue. Tap that. Now, we've got a link to the hub. So while you're doing this, be right next to your hub and press the button. Now, you won't see anything change on the hub itself. Click Submit, and it's created the config. As you can see, it's already set, ready to go. So we'll go over here to Philips Hue, and it shows you the same versions and everything. So you're good to go there. Now, if you want to turn on specific bulbs, then we'll go back here to the main screen. That makes a little more sense. So now you can see, well, in this case, I've got the ones labeled recliner, and it turns on. See, it's in the living room scene, so it's automatically turn on the scene. And then I've got the one in kitchen, which is over the stove, and it turns those on. Now, if you want to get any more detailed settings, it's when you'll tap to the left of that, and then that's where you can go and change your brightness. And as with everything that we've gone through the process of integrating with Home Assistant, that's really it. It's just that simple. You've got to go through and get your Phillips Hue bulbs set up ahead of time, get them linked to the Phillips Hue Zigbee hub. Once everything's fine there and you've got your software updates done, then going through Home Assistant should be a piece of cake. Sorry, forgot the mic again. As we get more and more into this, having some way to centrally store configuration files, firmware that you've downloaded, documentation for the different devices, because folks, let's face it, who keeps up with the documentation? I'm as guilty as the next person of not doing a job. And that's where having a NAS system is going to give you that central point. Now, I'd probably be the first one to say, oh, I can put it in my laptop, or I can put it in OneNote, or Evernote. Well, that's great, except when you need it, and then remember where you've got it. So having a centralized storage system is really going to be, a thing worth considering. And then as we get into other devices like GarageIt, or I guess we can call it GarageIt. I'm not sure of the name, but I mean, that's something else I need to run down. So there are a lot of potential for the smart home. I've got 2 weather stations, one I've been working with for several weeks. The other one, once the snowstorm that's going on right now quits, I need to get that one up on a mast because it's going to give even more information. So there's so much to do with the smart home, and really we're just getting started. And with the announcements that have been coming out of CES here in the past few days, and I've still got a lot of those to go over, we're going to be seeing even more. Where I thought last year was a kind of a bellwether year, this year we're seeing even more. Google has stepped up their game a little bit, and it's interesting to see how Bixby from Samsung is going to start playing a role. So it's going to be interesting. I think all the players are starting to realize, even Apple is realizing they don't have the lock on the market they thought they did. They're being much more open with what they want to do. So again, gone on long enough. I've shown you literally how easy it is to get the Phillips Hue bulbs up and running with Home Assistant. And we've gone over how to do the snapshot backup. So as you go through each step in the process, you may find at some point you don't need to do a snapshot before you make changes and a snapshot afterwards. Certainly one afterwards you're making the changes. Anytime you make a significant change to Home Assistant, that's always a good time to do a snapshot. And then you can delete those at some point, because if you don't, then it's going to start filling up the micro SD card that Home Assistant runs on, which is why they suggest using a 32 gig card to give you a little bit more buffer room. So thank you very much for watching all these videos. If you have anything you'd like to see me try, or getting my thoughts on doing a different kind of implementation, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to do that. As with all of these videos, they're also available as an Amazon Flash home briefing. You can go to techbyteswithronnutter.com. That's also where you can subscribe to the audio version of this, and that's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, you name it. I've got it available just about every way. So to make it as convenient for you as we can. And if you know a vendor who you think you'd like to see me work with the products, reach out to me. And I'm always looking for different ideas and things to try, because you never know where the next great thing is going to come from. Thank you for watching all these videos that I've done and listening to the podcast. And we'll see you the next time. Take care.